Welcome back to week 3, pulling in other resources on our Zero to Hero Schoology course on day 13. There's an app for that? So, what do you need for today? Well, you just need the chance to explore your App Center on Schoology. So, let's get started. Hey there, Schoology users. Welcome back to week 3. We're pulling in other resources. Today we're going to talk about one of the more exciting topics, which is the App Center. So I did mention it before. It is these 4 little icons here, and I don't have any apps, so we're going to change that. Now, in the App Center, these are things that are preset up to be an external application that you can use with your course. And I'm going to highlight some of the ones I used today and a trick for going through and actually finding programs if someone tells you, hey, install this. So, there is a couple things here that I am definitely going to say install, and the very big one is Edpuzzle. Why do I like that? Because it will integrate, it lets me put a video in, and I can embed questions in the video, plus the grade syncs. Now, Play Pause It does a very similar thing, however, the grade doesn't currently sync, at least not that I know of. They may have updated it. To install an app, all you're going to do is click on it, and it's going to give you some schmeal here, and it's going to tell you like there's stuff that you have to do. So you just hit Install LTI app. You read this and consent if you're allowed, and then you add it to your courses. This is literally what I do all the time. And ta-da, it's now added. There's more steps that you have to do for Edpuzzle, and for every one of these apps, there could be more things, and it does take some finessing at times, but it's pretty simple. At this point, you can just scroll through here and find things you want. So we actually use both Google Drive and OneDrive, so I install it all. You're going to see that in some apps, you can only add it to your resources, and that's okay. That means that it's only going to show up when you get there. As you've noticed, the top ones here are the ones I'm installing. I don't know why it's set up that way. It's not alphabetical. It doesn't make any sense, but it does work. So all you do is you put it into each of your courses. I don't hit course admin only because I don't need to. There's some where I would assume maybe course admin only would be useful, like YouTube, but I don't need that. Nearpod, if you haven't used it, is also another one that will integrate within, but you do have to pay to get most of the features for it. So, I mean, as you can see, this is a really simple process. You click on whatever it is and you install it. Now, I did talk about OneDrive, and there is OneDrive and OneNote here. I do use both of those. OneNote doesn't exactly link. So sometimes you're going to get something that looks like this. It's going to say your school has to upgrade to Enterprise. And then even when you're in Enterprise, instead of being able to just install it, your system administrator has to. So these apps may be there, but you might have to email your IT person and say, can you please install this app for me? It's not always able for you to do. So you can go through, and I'm going to install this OneDrive resource, and then I'm going to show you how to search. So I'm just installing, and it only goes to my resources, just like Google Drive. But now let's say I want OneDrive assignments. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use Control if I'm on a Windows computer, or Command if I'm on a Mac, and then I'm going to press F. What that does is it brings up this little search box, and I'm going to type 1. And you can see it's there 28 times. That's too much. Okay, if I add OneDrive, then I can only see it 4 times. So there's the resource app. When I click down, there it says OneDrive again. Here's OneDrive assignments, and I can click on it to install that. Now, this App Center has a ton of applications, and I typically go through them once or twice a year to see if they've added anything new. I do like to do that just so I know everything that's going on. You'll see here that when I click, now you can see apps that I have added. And it's pretty to the point. There's a bunch of things here. There's a lot that you can do. In terms of things that I'm regularly using, a lot of you are going to be using conferences. I did use Zoom instead of conferences just because it was limited to 25 students and they couldn't see each other. And there's a whole bunch of things here that you can use, and some of them have content, some of them don't. There's Teams meeting for people who need that. And you can just scroll through and check out all the different programs because there's a lot. Curriculum pathways, which I love, but they're shutting the website down, which is so sad because it was such a good website. Moe Max is one of my favorites. That one actually only installs as a resource app for the teacher. You would still have to embed it into your website, maybe use a button. But yeah, so there's a bunch of things here. Some of them are paid, as you can see, like MapType. Some of them your school has to do, but you can just scroll through and find something. If you are on your school's admin committee, I highly recommend buying Lockdown Browser. It makes it so students cannot go to another website. They can't access anything on their computer or anything like that while they're doing an assessment or a test quiz. And yep, so WeVideo, which is good for video editing if you need it. Google Assignments. I don't think I have installed that yet, so we should do that because we already installed OneDrive Assignments. There we are. And again, all you do is you click the buttons. Now, if you look here, it gives you some instructions or anything like that. But it's super simple on a lot of these, and it just kind of tells you how to use them or what the perk is. I don't find the descriptions that useful. There's a ton here. So go through, find things that work for you. I've actually clicked on pretty much all of these at some point in time. I think we're getting Pear Deck, so I'm going to install it. But oh, there we go. You have to have the enterprise platform, not the basic account. There's just a ton of different things. As you can see, I'm still scrolling, and it's been, a solid 30 seconds of scrolling. And you can go through and find things that you like and find things that you want to use to enhance your instruction or make it make more sense. There's other programs that your district can install that are completely different. There's ones that you can install as you see here. So that is the App Center. And now we're going to go see what it did to our class. That's all the apps. Bam. So back up to the top here, we're going to go to one of our classes. We're going to grab this Algebra 2. And now watch what happens when I hit Add Materials. I now have Edpuzzle, Google Assignments, and Nearpod as a choice there. When I hit Add Assignment, I now have some things as well. Takes a second to load, but you'll see I have Google Drive Assignments and OneDrive Assignments. You'll also see I have Kami and Text Help. Those are actually really easy to install. But in order to use them, you have to be using Chrome. All you're going to do is you're going to go up to the top and you're going to type, let's say, Kami. It'll say, here's the Chrome extension. You go to that website from the Chrome Google Store and you just install, and instead of saying remove, it'll say install. And then it's going to show up here in the little App Center where you can manage it. So there's my Kami extension. And without doing anything, it shows up here. I have no idea how or why it does that, and I have not used it yet, but we shall see what happens when we do. So that's pretty much it for the App Center. Again, you can install and find an app for just about everything, and when you can't, that's when you can embed an external tool. We'll be talking about that later this week. So I hope this helps, and I look forward to seeing you for the rest of the series. Thank you for joining us this far. Make sure you like and subscribe, and make sure you share it with your friends so that they can learn about Schoology too. Have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.